Hello and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. I'm just starting you out at the end of my last process video, which was for this page, which I created for my daughter's Sweet 16 birthday celebration at Eastside Mario's. And there was one photo that wasn't able to fit onto that page. And so I had pulled out this paper it's from the same collection from Vicky Bouton's Sweet Rush collection. And I thought that I would use this for documenting this leftover photo from the same event. I really love this page too, and I really love the idea of using this for a background. And I'm a little sad at how much I'm going to cover it up, but I'm going to cover it up a lot. It occurred to me, not when I first picked out this paper, but somewhere around here, it occurred to me that there are 16 dots on this paper, and woo, that's perfect. Because it's her 16th birthday. So I'm actually going to do something with that. I don't think I've had the idea quite yet. I started with another idea, and then I decided that since there are 16 dots, I would take advantage of that and kind of incorporate that into my design. Now I'm rounding the corners using the 1/2 inch side of my corner chomper. That's the bigger side. And I'm going to really pull this up. I had a little distress tool there from Tonic or Ranger, one of the two. I know they're kind of the same company, or at least they used to be the same. And I'm going to really go to town with distressing the edges of this because I want this to be very pulled up. And yeah, see, I'm going to actually really wrinkle up the paper and give it a bit of a beating before I use it. I'm going to glue it down like that. And as you can see, I'm covering up quite a bit. I did take off more along the outside edges of this, of the dotted paper, just to show a little bit more of that really pretty funky background paper with the pink and the orange and then the white and black polka dots. Now, I do have my half-size sewing machine here, which is something that I use often on my pages. The white one that I'm using right now has white thread in it, and I'm going to, my plan was to use a combination of white and black thread. I was going to go around twice in white and then go around twice in black, but I ran out of bobbin thread halfway through, and I did not want to reload a bobbin or try to find another bobbin. So I end up at some point, I realized, wait a second, it's not even sewing anymore. I ran out of bobbin. I think it made a noise, and I was like, what on earth is that? So anyhow, I just left it as it was. It had like holes. It put holes in my paper, but this is a pretty casual and mixed media looking one. So I didn't really care that there were empty holes in my layout. Now I'm going to do some black thread. And this really adds quite a bit of boldness to the page. I love doodling on my pages with black thread sewn. It's just so much fun. And I think this was the point where there was the loud noise. It was my thread breaking. Something was wrong with the tension, or something went wrong somewhere along the line. This is a New Home sewing machine by Genome, or Genome, however you say that word. And it's basically the identical machine to the other one. I just needed a flashlight to be able to see what I was doing here, because I could not for the life of me rethread that. So these two sewing machines, the white one that you saw first and then this gray one, they're the same machine. It's just the white one is older. It was called a I forget what it was called back then. Sew Mini, I think it was called, and now it's called the New Home. And adding these black threads, stitching all around the outside edges of this is going to give me just the doodly mixed media look that I'm looking for. I love the texture that adds. Just like that. And then I can pull up all the edges. I'm adding some wrinkles and some creases. fixing my hair. And I want to just make sure that these two look like they belong together. So I'm going to do a few similar things because I plan for these two pages to face one another. So where the first page had a navy blue mat around the outside edge of the photos, I'm going to do that with this one too. While I have that navy blue paper out, I just want to do a little tab punch. This is my Stampin' Up tab punch. I love this punch. And I just wanted to use it. And then I felt like that tab was actually too small for what I had in mind. And so I wanted to use this tab right here. This is an MFT tab die from, oh, so many years ago, probably 2010, 2009, around then. And oh, I love it. My first thought was that this tab would go somewhere in between these two layers. I really like it there. But I'm going to end up putting it in amongst the layers by the photo instead. Now that first page has some of this paper in it, but just a very tiny bit of it showing in behind the photo. And it also has this piece of a white paper bag. This is from the Paper Person Kit Club. And it was just sitting on my desk, so I decided to use it as a layer for the other page, so I'm going to use it as a layer for this page too. I'm using my ruler to rip these papers so that I get lots of texture and interest on the edges of all of these layers. I completely forgot about these chipboard pieces, and I thought maybe I could put random chipboard pieces and stickers and stuff all on each of these, like every here and there on some of the circles. First, I'm going to work on putting together my layers. So there you go. That was pretty easy. And then I decided that that tab would actually look better in these layers. So I'm just going to place that there. And I'll put something on it. It won't be quite so harsh once there's a layer on top of that tab. I'm going to put a sticker on it eventually, I think. So I'm realizing now there's 16 of these dots. So, oh, maybe I didn't yet. At some point, I'm going to realize another idea besides just randomly placing some embellishments on some of these circles. So I'm going to put a 16 on this cake, and first I put it in pink, and then I put one pink and one blue, and it's going to stay like this. But you guys, after I finished filming, I actually switched the 16, and when you see the photos at the end, you will see that I switched it to the gold letters from the same letter set. They're from the Paige Evans, what's it called? The Splendid collection. And that's where these stickers and chipboard pieces and die cuts are from. And yeah, I switched it to gold, and I think the gold looks way, way, way better. It's like a slice of birthday cake on a saucer. I love it. So here I am deciding that I want to add a little embellishment every here and there on most of the circles, if not all of them. And I thought that that would look kind of whimsical and fun. I love the tone-on-tone patterns, like that the blue dots have blue. It looks like they're stamped, but they're already on the pattern paper. And so I'm thinking about what I might want to call this. And the other one is called Sweet 16. And I don't know what I'm going to call this, if it's even going to have a name or if it's just going to be 16. I wasn't too sure. So then I thought I could do something like this with these number stickers. I've got them in black and I've got them in blue, and kind of layer them behind the little piece of cake. And if I did that, I'd probably pry off this. You don't need 16 and then another 16 right above it. But I'm having ideas as I'm doing this. I'm thinking these numbers look too bold and they belong in my project life, so I'm going to put those back. these numbers I don't think are going to work. And then I thought, wait a second, I can stamp out all the numbers 1 through 16, and then the last one will be 16 as in like sweet 16. And so all that I need is to find a large set of numbers that I can stamp with. And I was looking for these ones from the Highline collection or stamp sets from Paper Person. But then I realized I had this old set from Scraptastic, and these are they're going to have much more presence on the page because they're wider, so there's more to them. Those Highliner ones are a little bit too thin. So these old Scraptastic ones, I adore these. There's a font. They came in 2 different kits. One month you got the font, and then the next month you got the number set. Way back in the day. And so what I'm doing now is I'm just grabbing my Stampin' Up inks and I'm picking inks in all of the colors that I have here, so that I'm going to go with a tone-on-tone stamping look that's going to pick up on the tone-on-tone look that's already on these circles. So already we've got tone-on-tone pattern stamping. I'm going to enhance it by adding numbers to each of those circles in the exact same tones. I actually haven't used this stamp set before, so I'm going to have to condition each of these stamps before I use them. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looks so good. I'm going to take off all of these embellishments as I go along. So I'm just conditioning the stamps with my eraser. When you do this, just use a very light touch. You don't want to actually get eraser little cruddy bits on your stamp. You just want to run that eraser over it enough to remove the manufacturer's film off of it. And it gets a little smoky, like a little foggy maybe, or frosted looking. And that's when you know that you've conditioned it. So just using Stampin' Up inks of a variety of different colors. I don't know exactly which colors I pulled out here, but they're just from the main Stampin' Up colors, their main colors. Nothing special here. And I'm trying to use all different colors. So even though there's 2 blues beside each other, I could have used the same ink and it would have looked different on the 2 different colors, but I really wanted to have great variety. So I'm using different colors on each of them. I'm only repeating a few of them that are far away from each other. So I'm going to go ahead and put numbers even on the circles that are almost completely or completely covered by the layers, because I know that they're there and I want to know that they're there. And this is fun. I just want to do it. I want to have the full page all done because I like it. I might have used the same color there. I wasn't really paying attention, but one of those is going to be completely covered, so it doesn't really matter. I actually had to take a quick snack break there. I cut out that part. I had been streaming for, I think, 4 hours at this point, so I was getting kind of hungry. And now I'm going to stamp the number 9 here in the green. If you didn't watch my video right before this, the reason there's a picture-in-picture with me up in the top is that this layout was created during a live stream. I live stream with my Patreon supporters once a month where I do like a scrap with me and they scrap along with me and we all kind of create some projects over the course of an afternoon or a morning once a month. So I'm into the double digits now. I have to say this is some of the best fun I've had in a long time with my stamps. This was a lot of fun. And just playing with color like this is so much fun. Seeing how the colors look layered on top of each other like this is just, this is what it's all about. This is why we craft, right? Because it's so cool to see a page come together like this and to see an idea kind of come to life on a page. Now these last 2 you are going to see. You're going to see little smidgens of some of the other ones too, but Had a bit of trouble picking which orange I'd use here, but I went with the pumpkin pie or pumpkin spice or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. Now I'm just going to take a quick picture because I thought that this page looked so fun. I'll throw that up on Instagram if I can find it, but I don't know where it would be now. I guess it would be back in January. But that was really fun. I do keep my Stampin' Up! Inks right beside me. You can see I'm just kind of putting them on the shelf beside where I sit. It's nice to have all my colors close at hand. It's really easy to find them when I need them. I don't have to go get them from someplace. I try to keep as many of my items that I use often as close to me as possible. And I think it's time to do another scrap room tour pretty soon because it's been a while since I've done one. I've changed things around a little bit. So even though it's a little bit redundant to put 16 on top of another 16, I'm going to do it anyways. But like I said, the only difference here is that that 16 that's on the cake is gold now. And you won't see that in the video, but you will see it at the very end. I'm changing them again, but I changed them to orange and yellow. Why? It's gold. Gold is where it's at. I just felt like the whole page was super colorful. So for the number 16, it's kind of part of my title. I wanted it to be gold. I just thought that it worked a little bit better to have something neutral there. Now I'm not going to put all of these little die cuts and stickers back on the page because I feel like those circles are decorated enough between the little tone-on-tone patterns that were already on the paper to begin with and the numbers that I put on there. I just didn't want to add anything else. I thought that the only embellishment on this would be that piece of chipboard with the number 16. Of course, it'll be in gold. And now I'm just going to hand write the word sweet with cursive writing. Just above the word 16. Then I'm taking that same purple marker that I've used on the other page and I just wrote the word sweet. Erased the pencil lines. It's very, very subtle. It almost doesn't have a title because the title of the other one is called Sweet 16. So it's a little bit repetitive, but I don't care. I like this page. It's my page. Doesn't matter. I don't care if the title is the same on two side-by-side pages. Now, I really want to put a tab in between these layers. I just felt like that was an idea I had that I just wanted to see through to fruition. So I'm taking this punch tab that I already made before. I added a little gold heart to it from the sticker set from Paige Evans, and I just glued it in there as just a tiny, tiny little extra embellishment down by the corner where you hardly notice it. It's just for those who are really paying attention to the details. I love my pages to have little things that are maybe unexpected or not where you thought they might be or that sort of thing. I like to do that. So we're going to call this one done, and we're going to call these two sister layouts because it's not really a double page. I don't think it's fair to say that it's a double page. I don't think my double pages, the double pages don't have to completely coordinate or like be definitely a continuation of one another, but these two are just very, very different from one another. So I'm going to call them sister pages. So there's that one, and if you want to see the process for that, it should be the video right before this one. And then here's the close-up of this. I do have some photos coming shortly, but here's how this one looks. And again, in the photos, the 16 is gold, and I do like it quite a bit better there. Before I show the photos, I just want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters. These folks help make this channel happen, so a big thanks to all of them. Patrons get early ad-free access to all my process videos and real-time unedited versions of all my videos, as well as a monthly live stream and behind-the-scenes videos and Zoom chats and a whole bunch of other things. And also thanks to you for watching to the very end. I really appreciate it. And there's those gold numbers that make up the number 16. So I do like how that looks. I hope that you guys enjoyed this process. This one came together quite a bit quicker than most because it was a little bit more simple than most of my pages, but it was really, really fun to do and a really nice coordinating page for the other one that I did right before it. So thanks so much for watching and have a really great scrappy week, and I will see you all next time.